I'm the ASMR psychologist. Welcome to my sleep clinic. Now, I have already made this video as a whispered version, but I know that some people prefer soft spoken. So I thought, because we were talking about sleep, which is obviously very important, I would do a soft spoken version as well, so that you can choose between them and maybe let me know which you prefer. In my sleep clinic, I am going to be talking about different aspects of sleep, sharing with you information and tips and strategies to help you to improve your sleep, to sleep for longer, to have a better quality sleep, and obviously fall asleep more quickly and easily. Today, we're going to be looking specifically at the process of sleep and our sleep cycles. But before we do that, I'm going to share a bit of general information with you about sleep. So, before the 1950s, it was thought that sleep was quite a passive process, that the mind and body were almost in a dormant state. And then scientists realised that actually when we sleep, our mind and our body is very active, very busy. Our body cells are re-energising and our mind is clearing away the waste from the day to support learning and memories. We spend a third of our entire lives asleep, but that third determines the quality of the other 2/3 of our lives. So it's really important that our sleep is good, that we have the right amount, and that amount is of good quality. So that's what this clinic is all about. It's about trying to help you to achieve that. So now let's talk about the process of sleep. So there is an inhibitory transmitter called adenosine. And adenosine is produced during the day while we're awake, and it kind of accumulates throughout the day. And when it reaches a particular point, we start to feel drowsy and we fall asleep. This transmitter then signals to our brain cells that it's time to switch off those signals that are transmitting when we're awake. When we're asleep, the reverse starts to happen. Our body begins to break down adenosine, and when it reaches a particular point, we wake up. Okay, so we then, once we start to drift off, we begin to pass through the 4 stages of sleep. We cycle through them throughout the night. That first stage, or the first stage, is a very light sleep that we kind of drift in and out of. We're easily woken, and our muscles go through various contractions. So it's quite common to experience a sensation of falling, a little like the sensation of being startled when we're awake. We then pass into the second stage of sleep, and in this stage our brainwaves begin to slow, they become very, very smooth, and our body temperature begins to drop. So it's quite a good idea to keep your bedroom quite cool, because this will facilitate the process of sleeping. We then move into the deepest stage of sleep, and in this stage our brainwaves become very, very slow, and they're called delta waves in this stage. It's very hard to be woken once we're in this stage, and if we are woken we can feel quite confused, disoriented, and if people who struggle with sleepwalking or night terrors, children who wet the bed, this will all happen in this deepest stage of sleep. And this stage of sleep is important because this is when our tissues grow and they repair. This is when our energy stores are replenished and hormones are released for our growth and our development. Now, these first three stages of sleep are referred to as non-REM sleep, and we spend about 75% of our sleeping time in these stages. The fourth stage of sleep is called REM sleep, and we spend about 25% of our sleeping time in this stage. And this is a stage of sleep where our eyes move rapidly, our breathing becomes quite irregular, our limbs are paralysed, and our blood pressure and our heart rate increases. And this stage has been linked to quite vivid dreams. Now, scientists still aren't quite sure what the function of REM sleep is, but there are a number of theories. One is that it helps us to form new memories. Another is that it's to stimulate the central nervous system. And another is that it's to restore our brain chemistry to a normal balance. Okay, so now I'm going to draw you a diagram. I sometimes think, excuse me, when we're trying to learn something new, it can be quite helpful to have a visual representation of it. So let's do that now. Okay, so I'm going to start with a graph. With time along the bottom and the stages of sleep along the top. So I'll show that to you now. Okay, now a sleep cycle is somewhere between 90 minutes and 110 minutes. For the purposes of this diagram, we're going to use the shorter sleep cycle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide the 90 minutes into 15-minute segments. So we have 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, and 90 at the end. Looks like that. Okay, and then our stages of sleep are obviously awake, and then we have REM, sleep, and then the 3 stages of non-REM sleep. There. Okay, so now let's draw these sleep cycles. I'm going to use a different colour pen because I think then you'll be able to, see it a little better. Now, as we're falling asleep, maybe in the first 10-12 minutes, we kind of drift between being awake and that first very light stage of sleep before we settle there for a little while, like that. And then we drop down to that second stage of sleep, like so. And then we drop down again into that deep stage. And we maybe drift between those two stages, stage 2 and stage 3, a little bit before finally settling there in that deep stage of sleep for maybe 15 minutes or so. Okay. And then we start to work our way back up through the sleep cycles. First of all, we may drift back to the second stage and then return to the deep stage for a little bit. And then we just work our way back up to the top here and spend a bit of time in REM sleep before briefly returning to full consciousness. Very, very briefly. Sometimes we're not even aware, or most of the time we're not even aware that that's happened, unless maybe we need to go to the loo. And then we begin the cycle again. So up here, briefly awake, and then we begin the cycle again. Okay, so we cycle through this throughout the night, each cycle being between 90 minutes and 110 minutes. And as we work our way through the night, the time we spend in the very deepest stage of sleep becomes shorter, and the time we spend in REM sleep extends. Okay, so that's the end of my lecture on sleep cycles. I hope that it was interesting and enjoyable and relaxing to listen to. If you like this sort of video, you like the idea of the sleep clinic, let me know by giving this video an up thumb. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so and hitting that notification button so you don't miss anything good. But I do make a new video every single day. Okay, so in the meantime, thank you for watching. enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you really soon.